If you're a Texas resident over 45, what I'm about to share could save your family from an $8,000 financial shock. The latest data from the National Funeral Directors Association shows that funeral costs in Texas now average $8,000 for a burial service, and even cremation costs around $6,000. But here's what most Texans don't know about protecting their families from these devastating expenses. I'm going to walk you through exactly how final expense insurance works in Texas, reveal why Germania Life might be your best option as a local company, and show you how to get coverage even if you have health problems that other companies have rejected you for. Plus, I'll share the 3 questions every Texan over 45 should ask before choosing any final expense policy. Let me start with something that might surprise you. Right now, 61.9% of Texans are choosing cremation over traditional burial. That cremation rate has been climbing every year, and it's projected to hit over 80% by 2045. Why does this matter for your insurance planning? Because even though cremation costs less than burial, $6,000 is still a massive financial burden for most Texas families. Here's what happens when someone passes away without final expense coverage. The family gets hit with immediate costs that need to be paid within days, not months. The funeral home requires payment up front. There's the basic service fee, which averages around $2,000 in Texas. Then you add the cremation or burial costs, transportation, memorial services, death certificates, and all the other expenses that add up fast. But here's the really shocking part. Most insurance agents won't tell you. The federal government only provides $255 toward funeral expenses through Social Security. That's it. So your family is on the hook for the remaining $7,700 or more. Now let me share why Germania Life stands out for Texas residents. This company has been serving Texans for over 125 years. They were founded right here in Texas by German settlers who understood the importance of taking care of their communities. Unlike the big national companies that operate from out of state, Germania Life understands Texas families and Texas values. What makes Germania Life particularly attractive for final expense coverage is their simplified underwriting process. If you're between 45 and 85 years old, you can get coverage without a medical exam. That means no blood tests, no doctor visits, just a few health questions over the phone. Even if you have diabetes, heart disease, or other health conditions that caused other companies to reject you, Germania Life has options. Here's something most people don't understand about final expense insurance. The death benefit goes directly to your beneficiaries as tax-free cash. They can use this money for funeral costs, but they're not required to. They could use it to pay off your credit cards, cover your final medical bills, or even keep it as an inheritance. The insurance company doesn't dictate how the money gets spent. Let me break down the 3 types of coverage available in Texas. The first is immediate benefit coverage. This is what most healthy people qualify for. If you pass away the day after your first payment, your beneficiaries get the full death benefit. No waiting periods, no reduced benefits. The second type is graded benefit coverage. This is for people with more serious health conditions. There's typically a 2-year waiting period, but if you die in an accident during those first 2 years, your beneficiaries still get the full benefit. After the waiting period, any cause of death is covered. The third option is guaranteed issue coverage. This is for people who can't qualify for the other 2 types. Everyone gets accepted regardless of health, but there's usually a 2-year waiting period where your beneficiaries would receive a return of premiums plus interest rather than the full death benefit. Now here's where many Texans make a crucial mistake. They wait too long to apply, thinking they'll get coverage later when they really need it. But final expense insurance gets more expensive every year you wait. A 65-year-old Texas woman might pay $47 per month for $10,000 of coverage. But if she waits until she's 75, that same coverage could cost $85 per month. The other mistake is not getting enough coverage. With Texas funeral costs averaging $8,000, many people only buy $5,000 of coverage thinking it'll be enough. But that leaves their families $3,000 short. Plus, there are often other expenses like outstanding medical bills or credit card debt. Here's what I recommend for most Texans over 45. Get at least $10,000 of coverage, but $15,000 is even better. This ensures you'll cover the funeral costs plus leave a little extra for your family during a difficult time. If you're married and both spouses are over 45, you should each have your own policy since final expense insurance only covers one person per policy. When you're comparing companies, ask these 3 critical questions. First, is the company licensed in Texas and do they understand Texas estate laws? Second, what type of coverage do you qualify for based on your current health? And third, what happens if you move out of Texas later? Germania Life policies will cover you anywhere in the United States, which is important for Texas retirees who might winter in Arizona or Florida. Let me address the biggest concern most people have about final expense insurance. They worry about paying premiums for years and then dying of something that isn't covered. Here's the truth about Germania Life and most reputable final expense policies. Once you're past any waiting period, they cover death from any cause: cancer, heart attack, stroke, accidents, even suicide after the first 2 years. The only thing they don't cover is death related to war or military service in certain circumstances. If you're watching this video and you're over 60, you need to take action soon. Insurance companies regularly review their underwriting guidelines, and what's available today might not be available next year. The health questions could become stricter, or the premiums could increase for new applicants. For Texas families concerned about burial costs, final expense insurance through a company like Germania Life offers peace of mind that your family won't face financial hardship during an already difficult time. The application process is simple, coverage is permanent as long as you pay your premiums, and your beneficiaries get the money quickly when they need it most. Remember, this isn't about you, it's about the people you'll leave behind and making sure they can focus on grieving and healing instead of worrying about money. With Texas funeral costs continuing to rise and cremation rates climbing, having adequate final expense coverage isn't just smart planning, it's an act of love for your family. If you found this information helpful, make sure to subscribe for more Texas-specific insurance guidance. Leave a comment below about your experience with final expense insurance or any questions you have about coverage in Texas. And if you'd like to see a comparison between Germania Life and other major companies serving Texas, let me know in the comments, and I'll make that my next video.